Hi, I'm Rappler Entertainment Editor Marguerite de Leon, and welcome to the latest episode of Rappler Talk Entertainment. Today we have two very special guests, the director and the star of the Cinemalaya hit Rookie, Samantha Lee and Pat Tingjuy. Hi, guys.
Hello, thank you for
Thank you
having
so
us.
much
Thank
for
you so
coming
much.
here. It's such a treat. Sige, so let's get right to it. So seeing yung Rookie na movie revolves around Ace, played by Pat, who's a newbie volleyball player who falls for team captain Jana, played by Aya Fernandez. So it was a hit this year sa Cinemalaya Film Festival, with Pat winning Best Actress, congratulations, and the film winning Best Editing and the Audience Choice Award. So, as in, talagang, wala, patok na patok yung movie. Congratulations. How do you guys feel about all the response from the audience?
Go
You're
back.
Well, it feels great. And it feels great that I worked with these amazing people who made Rookie possible.
Yeah, I mean, I think on my end, it was a pleasant surprise because if you really think about it, we're a movie with two, like, this is both their first film.
Yeah.
So, like, relative unknowns, Aya is kind of known. So, going into it, you know, we were optimistic, but we didn't think the reception would be this amazing. So, yeah.
So, yun yung true test siguro, na parang you didn't really expect anything, pero biglang, it just really struck a chord sa mga viewers. So, for Pat, as an actress, you are a rookie yourself. So, and you've done so well. So, what drove you to acting to begin with?
You know that feeling when you were a kid na naiisip mo na lang na parang gusto ko maging artista but you don't know how or it's too high of a dream for you to reach. So it's same goes for me that I put that dream aside like because I didn't know how. So in November 2022, that's when I started doing commercials and I would see posts on like auditions, casting, and then I came across the call for auditions for Rookie. And they needed someone who knows how to play volleyball. And sakto, I know how to play volleyball, so I thought it was perfect for me. Then sure, I'll try. Then I got an email like a week later inviting me to the face-to-face auditions. And on the day of the face-to-face auditions, I was super intimidated by everyone there because like the people around me were from big agencies, there were pro players. Then, gosh, these girls. Yeah, and then I was just thinking, nah, I'm never gonna get this role anyway. But, ayun, I still powered through it, and I loved every bit of the audition. And yeah, like a month later, I got a call saying that I got the role for Ace.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even in school, did you like act in plays or?
No, I was just really known as Pat Tingjuy, the volleyball player.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So meron ka talagang background in volleyball talaga, like
Yeah.
solid background from the start.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a volleyball coach.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I
yeah,
coached
coached
after I
too.
graduated college.
Okay, that's awesome.
And so the day she won her Best Actress in Cinemalaya, she also did her oath taking for
Yeah.
architecture in the same place.
yeah, sa
place.
PICC.
PICC was basically my home that day.
Ang saya. So why did of all the people who auditioned for that role, like why did you choose Pat in the end?
Well, it's so funny hearing Pat's POV of that experience. Because for me, since I saw her audition video, it was like everyone else had to measure up against Pat. So to think that she felt the opposite in real life was kind of like funny. But I think for casting for me, because this isn't the first time I've cast like real people in my films, I think it's always it's like an instinctive choice. And so when we saw Pat that day, when we called her in, and then Direct Dan and Direct Danette eventually agreed, it was like set na, and we kind of just built the world around Pat.
Awesome. How do you feel about the role of Ace? Like what makes you connect with her?
I saw myself in Ace because like some things that happened to her in the film happened to me. To be specific, after intrams, like since a lot of people knew her, since she's so good at volleyball, that part where Ace was walking in the hallway and then a girl pushed her friend towards Ace. That happened to me. It's like someone pushed her friend towards me. So I really laughed when I saw it. Yeah. And yeah, Ace is also a strong character and she has like a yeah. I just like Ace so much.
Yeah, pag
I
organic
just saw
lang
myself,
na,
yeah.
ano, yeah. That's awesome. So for Sam, so yung first documentary short mo, yung Agos, features a female surfer. So sports-ish yung ano, vibe. So now you're taking on volleyball, which is also a very dynamic sport. So as a director, ano yung challenges of making films that involve something so physical?
Well, I think, first of all, that Agos reference was a deep dive into my past.
Well, I do my research. It's my job.
I think, but it's so different because, like, for Agos, it was 2 surfers. And then for Rookie, we had to shoot so many girls playing volleyball. And I think just the constraints in terms of time and coverage, because we needed to cover so much things. But what was really important for me, I guess, was to try to apply the female gaze on what a sports film usually is. So, diba, when we think sports film, it's like masculine and
Right,
sweat
gritty,
and
yeah.
war and shouting. But it's like, okay, but then how do we show women in sports? And I kind of just wanted to portray the magic of what it's like being surrounded by girls all the time, which is a different twist to it, I guess.
Which is good din kasi parang recently yung women's football, ano, di ba, parang it's a phenomenon now. So, parang sobrang ganda ng timing din.
Yeah.
Ayun. So, was there anything that you actually took, speaking of deep dives, like, was there anything that you took from the Agos shoot that you applied to Rookie?
I think the dynamic kasi of Agos is this older female surfer wanting her protege to succeed. And that's very much the dynamic between Agot and
Right.
Pat and also Coach Jules and Ace. It's just passing on the torch and hoping the next generation has an easier time by just a little bit. Yeah.
And it's a good thing you mentioned Agot and, what do you call this? The other actress, si... Aya Fernando, sorry. My brain is... how was it working with both of them?
Well, it felt natural. With Miss Agot, again, I was intimidated. I think the first thing I said to her, "Hi, I'm Pat. I'm shy and awkward."
Like, inuna mo na talaga.
Inuna ko na, para at least she has like a heads up of how to like talk to me or something. But yeah, she's so kind and she's so supportive. Even with Aya, like the first time I met her was during the face-to-face interview. Like we found a common ground because we went to the same grade school, and then apparently her close friend is like my close friend. So that's when we like really connected. So it's nice, and she's she's very supportive of what I'm doing in the film and right now, like after the film.
How about you as a director?
Well, I mean, like, Miss Agat is like someone that I think everyone wants to work with.
Of course, yeah.
And I think aside from me wanting to work with her, I really wanted someone the girls on set that they could look up to. So, and I couldn't think of a better person because she's so generous in her scenes. And, you know, maski we just need her to stand in the background. She's gonna do it, even if it's super hot. And ako pa yung nagpa-panic, being like, Miss A, you don't need to be there. It's okay, iwasan ka na lang namin. And she's like, no, I'm gonna stand here. I'm gonna be in this scene. And so, in terms of that, we couldn't have asked for a better person. In fact, during our last screening in the mall, sumama siya because she wanted to watch and see and hear the reaction. So she was there to surprise everyone.
True professional.
Yeah.
Ayan. So for Pat, yan, you guys mentioned yung PICC day mo, where you were first licensed as an architect, and then you went on to win Best Actress later that night sa Cinemalaya Awards. So in a previous interview, I think on that same night, you said that you would try to balance both fields, architecture and acting. So parang how do you think you'll determine which project is more important?
I think it's still too early for me to tell kasi hindi pa siya nagsasabay.
Yeah.
But when the time comes, like if that ever happens, I believe that I'll know which one to prioritize.
Gut feel na lang.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think it's also possible to do both at the same time.
Parang I just need to rest a bit, then go work.
So I
Because she
sense,
was studying naman for the boards
right.
while
the
doing
whole
rookie.
time.
Yeah,
Kaya mo pala.
yeah.
Kaya yan.
It's test
Maliit na
run,
bagay.
test run.
Char.
Kaya yan. So, may mga blueprint ka sa behind the scenes. Ang cute. Tapos may hard hat ka. Cute. Sige, so for Sam, bringing queer representation to local films is clearly an advocacy of yours. So how much has changed from when you first started directing in like 2010 ba tama? Early 2010s to how things are now?
I think with this experience, I've personally felt that it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So while I do admit that there are more queer stories being told now, in my lived reality, I think the challenges are still very much the same challenges. So in terms of casting, it was still very much like we got a couple of no's from big name actors because they're like, oh, she can't do a lesbian film and things like that.
Okay.
And I was also very surprised because I came from Sleep With Me with Janine and Lovey, who are 2 of the biggest stars.
Right.
So I thought, hey, yun na yan, like, this is gonna get better. But like to find myself back in square one was still a bit of a surprise.
I see.
And when I was younger, I used to take on the responsibility full on. Like I felt like it was really on my shoulders. But as I've gotten older and more tired, I realized that, you know what, it's like we can try our best, but at the end of the day, there really needs to be a systemic change that needs to happen. And the industry needs to see queer films as something that's equal for change to truly be felt. So that's why it's so important for me to win Audience Choice.
Yeah,
People think
exactly.
it's, you know,
Yeah, it's not like all the audience was LGBT, diba?
yeah, like it's such a strong statement that look at this film with like, you know, this architect in the lead, and we still
daming
want
representation pala.
we still want Audience Choice, right? So, you know, yeah, it's getting better for other people. I hope. I mean, that's the hope.
Ang ganda ng insight mo na parang you start off when you're young, you're so idealistic, and you think, I'm gonna champion this, like, and then parang then you realize na,
Yeah.
nga pala, it's a community effort.
3 films later, it's like,
Speaking of which, like, will you ever do a film that is not, like, explicitly LGBT centric?
I mean, I'm open to it. I think that's the biggest misconception. I mean, I'd love to do a big budget, big studio
Right.
rom-com with big stars. But I think for me, if it's something that I'm going to have to write, to help find money for, to shoot, to market, then it might as well be something that will contribute to the queer canon. But
course.
if there's a script already and people want to give me money to make it,
Okay.
game naman.
Nagma-manifest na siya, guys. Yeah. Samantha Lee, talking to the universe.
But my heart and soul is for the community.
All right. Ayun. And speaking of the queer, parang advocacy for Pat, you could say it's a big responsibility then on your end to carry this advocacy on your shoulders. So, did you feel nervous about this or excited? Like, how did you feel knowing na parang you're gonna be like the face of parang LGBT on film in some respects?
Well, I felt both nervous and excited to be portraying Ace. Yes, there's pressure, like
Yeah.
there really is, but that's why we were very careful and we wanted to do it right. Yeah, and since I'm new to this, I was also very grateful that Direk Samantha Lee is here with me along the way since day one, and she's been advocating this for how many years now? Oh yeah.
Okay. So, for the both of you, ayun, speaking of the audience award, you guys won it, which I think is like such a great thing because yun nga, parang that means that a whole slew of Filipinos are in love with the film. So why do you think that is? Why is it cutting across so many different kinds of parang viewers?
Well, I mean, we'd be hard for. Volleyball is really popular. Volleyball is really popular in the country.
Okay.
So I think that's a big part of it. I think also people find it super relatable. Anyone who's gone to an all-girl Catholic school, no matter what their soji is, will be able to find something to relate to this. And I think it's just pure unadulterated kilig talaga.
Yeah.
Like, to hear, and I think part of it is like, I always say, like, you can wait for this to be on streaming, but to watch it in a cinema, to sobrang ingay ng mga tao.
Tumitili yung mga tao.
Like, that's part of the fun experience.
Yeah, and when I watched it, there was like a couple in front of me. Tapos grabe yung hampas niya sa girlfriend niya, ganon.
Dapat hinampas mo
Natatawa mo na lang ako. Yeah, and they didn't know I was like right behind them. Yeah, but like what Direk said, like it's very relatable. They relate to the story, to our characters. But none of this would be possible without our writer Nats and Direk Sam, because they brought the whole SL, Angels, Ace, Jana, come to life.
So how did your like friends and family then pala react to your debut as an actress?
They were so happy. So it was funny. My dad was just watching it live on like YouTube or something.
Okay.
Then when they announced my name, my dad was screaming. My sister told me this. My dad was screaming. She thought something bad happened to me because my dad was like, "Si Pat, si Pat."
Oh.
Tapos yun pala, I won Best Actress. But they're so happy and they're so proud.
Okay, that's great to hear. So for Sam, for those who loved Rookie and want to see more quality queer movies, which ones would you suggest they watch? Besides, of course, Baka Bukas, Billy and Emma. Pwedeng local din. Especially.
Well, I'm a big Celine Sciamma stan. So I would recommend anything by her. Portrait of a Lady on Fire is really amazing. But I'm not kasi a cinema snob. Like I'm not a letterboxd girl.
It can be anything.
So whenever anyone asks for like queer recommendations, it runs a gamut talaga. Like I'll say, or read America is Not the Heart by Elaine Castillo. Watch queer YouTubers. Because I feel like YouTube has democratized creating content already.
Yeah.
And so actually when I need to do research on characters, I just watch queer vloggers and
Like
how they
sino?
go about. Well, luma na siya, pero sina Rose and Rosie, tsaka si Now This Is Living. Ganun.
Okay, sige. Guys, look into that. And for both, we're actually down to our last two questions, unfortunately. So for the both of you, what was the most memorable moment for you shooting this film?
Well, for me, there was a scene where it was the entire team in the locker room, and then they were talking about having their period and forgetting to shave their underarms.
Yeah.
And that was so fun for me to shoot because it was like such a girl moment.
Yeah.
And like everyone got to have a line, and then everyone brought their own characters into it. So it was like so fun for me to shoot.
How about you, Pat?
For me, there's actually two. The first one was the scene where Ace was running away from Coach Kel from after intrams. So it's such a heavy scene. Then like I have to feel the emotions Ace should be feeling at that moment. While at the same time, I'm running or jogging, while a lot of people are watching, like bystanders. Then comes the second take of the same scene. The motorcycle kung saan nakapatong yung camera, bumilis siya. So I had to run and keep my pace with it. Kasi sabi nila, dapat ito yung distance mo from the camera.
no.
So parang ako, okay, sige, kaya ko yan. And then, so I ran after it, then bam, I fell.
Oh, no.
I tripped, and I got a wound that we had to work around with nung ano.
Naging part na
So
siya.
ito siya. Teklat na siya ngayon.
I see.
Yeah, and then the second part would be during intrams where Ace for the first time hits the ball in proper spiking form. Kasi it took like 3 days for me to like pretend to not know how to play volleyball.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh,
So,
no.
feeling ko nagalingan ko masyado yung partner na, pati si Direk Sam, she had to ask our choreographer, si Coach Carr, if kaya niya ba yan? She asked her that. And then
never
Coach
thought
Carr
of it
said,
that way.
kaya niya yan. And then the moment I hit the ball, like, the whole place lit up and everyone got so excited. I got excited because everyone is excited. Na feel ko na I'm contributing and it's so nice to be working with people like this. Ganun.
Ang galing. Yeah, I never thought of it that way before. So,
That's why she won Best Actress.
correct.
Because method na method.
Tama. So, ano.
I had to stop myself from playing with the other people's aside. Like, I want to play, but di pwede.
The judges were right. Okay. So, unfortunately, down to our last question for you guys. Any upcoming projects that either of you want to tease, architectural or otherwise?
Watch out for her building. It's rising.
Otherwise, I'll just quote something from the movie by Jana. Secret.
Yes,
Yep.
same.
And okay, sige, ang daming teasers. So, ayun, thank you Sam and Pat for being here with us today. It was such a treat. That's it for today's episode of Rappler Talk Entertainment. For those of you who are unable to catch Rookie at Cinemalaya, you'll be able to catch it very soon. So stay tuned on social media for updates. If you have any questions or comments, hit us up on Rappler's socials. I'm Marguerite de Leon. Thanks for watching.